Welcome folks, Pat Mitchell here, Fallout Shelter. We're going to be discussing the most important video that I'm going to be discussing here on all social media, YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever this gets released. Now, I highly recommend that you listen thoroughly. I'm not trying to be your dad here, but this is really important information, and it actually stems from a comment that was made on my last video. And we're going to take a deep dive into what strategy actually means and where a lot of people make mistakes, okay? Because this guy is probably going to watch this, and he wasn't being a jerk or anything like that. So lay off him in the comments. Don't be a jerk in the comments. That's not what this is about. There's no malice to this. What I'm actually hoping to gain from this is for you to understand a little bit more or a little bit better. And again, I know that can sound condescending, and I really don't mean it to come out that way. I'm really hoping to get through to traders. That's what I'm here for. I think that there's a real opportunity to change your mindset. And I'm going to also start off by saying, this isn't just about day trading mentality or trading mentality. This has everything to do with being a successful person. Whatever business venture that you may go into, whether you're trying to start a business or whatever, every single successful person thinks basically the same, for lack of a better expression, okay? There's a way that people are wired that are successful. And I can speak from experience. Now, what do I define as success? Well, let's start there. I define success as not owing anybody anything. I don't owe the bank a single dime. Everything I own, from the Ferrari, the Porsche, the Corvette, every single other vehicle and toy I have, that is paid for cash. If I cannot pay for something cash, I will not buy it. Every single watch that I own in my 40 watch plus collection, I own outright. Every house and property that I own a house down here in Costa Rica, paid for it cash. My mountain property, 83 acres, which is impossible to get here, I own cash. I own 3 other lots, cash, paid for. I also own 162 acres in Canada, cash. I've also bought my parents' house, cash. What I'm trying to display to you is, again, not trying to dangle, look at me and what I have. That's not my intention here. Do not get it fucking twisted. I don't want to hear bullshit in the comment section, because that's not what it's about. What I'm trying to get at is everything I own, I own. That's what I define as success. Not things, but freedom, and not being attached to banks. The banks own it. You don't own it. The banks own it. Whether you're leasing a car or you have a mortgage on a house. And that's fine. That's normal. I get it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying there's a certain amount of freedom and fuck you potential there. When you own everything and you don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe on any credit cards or any bills. Not to mention a very comfortable multiple bank accounts. Plus my trading account, which is not a small account. I think one of the issues here on YouTube is a lot of people get into this comfort zone of looking at all day trading content creators on here as content creators, that they don't actually have any success. I've been doing this for a decade. People that have found success in life are wired a certain way. And this is what I'm trying to give to you guys, okay? Because it starts with a rewiring. Now let's talk strategy. Strategy in the day trading world is something that needs to be followed completely, full stop. What a lot of people have a tendency of doing is they don't have strategy. They have prediction, bias, and fear and belief. You'll never make it long term. And one of the issues of that is people get rewarded for piss poor trading habits and trading behavior and trading mentality. And let's take this for example. Okay, so I'm going to read this comment here. So Haney Guitar Instruction commented, and again, Haney, if that's your name, listen, this is no slight against you, and I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm using you as an example, and I hope you take it that way. At 11:20, hey Pat, I would wait to average in long until SPY 320. The October low will be blown through. So let's dissect that. Now again, that just comes off like a regular comment, like he's just saying whatever he thinks, and that's fine. But let's discuss and let's break it down further, okay? The devil's in the details, so to speak, right? So when you're saying the October low will be blown through, what's that based off of exactly? What's that based off of? Nothing. Let's be honest. It's not based on anything other than speculation. Now, it's fun to speculate. I've said that a million times on this channel. It's one of the things that I enjoy doing on this channel. But speculation, even if you are correct, you cannot give yourself a pat on the back. You did nothing. You made a call. Whether you put money on it or not, it's speculation. Okay? So you have two outcomes that can happen. That 320 low will either hold or it'll be blown through like this fellow says. So let's say it holds. Well, you were wrong. I was right. Now hang on, don't react to that yet. Now, scenario B. That 320 low breaks, like gets blown through, goes through, doesn't hold. He was correct, I was wrong. Do you see where it becomes a matter of being right and wrong? I want to take a dive into being right and being wrong in the world of trading, okay? And I'm not trying to get too into the weeds here, but if there's one video that should get into the weeds, it's this. My perspective on trading is being right and being wrong. There's no room for that in trading. What you're doing is you're trading strategy. Is strategy meant to work 100% of the time? The answer to that is no. Of course it isn't. If you had a strategy that worked 100% of the time, you would be a gajillionaire. Every single trade that you went in on, you would go all in. Correct? Correct. Okay? With strategy, it's not about being right or being wrong. I equate a green trade and a red trade on the exact same equal. They are equal. Now, some people will not think about that and they'll just react to my statement. I want you to think about that. For those that haven't heard that before, I know a lot of Tricktrades members, they've heard this stuff a million times. You understand where I'm coming from. As a professional, knowing what strategy means, because we are working with sample size. Let's take a sample size of 20 trades. And you were red on 5 of them. Okay, but 15 worked. Now, let's take that exact same strategy and bump up that sample size. And let's say you have 1,000 trades. And out of that 1,000 trades, during that market, you have 1,000 trades and only 500 work. Well, do you see how that changes over time? So that should make you think, okay, maybe this strategy isn't as sound as I thought it was. The issue is people think in terms of small sample size. They will look at their trades short term. Now let's talk years. Instead of actual numbers of trades, let's talk years. When you've been working a strategy for a decade, that's 10 years of market ups and market downs in all sorts of catalysts. And it still produces anywhere between 80 and 90% hit rate in combination with my risk strategy. I have a 2-part strategy, and that's what makes it very locked in, okay? And this can be backed up by every single member that is in Tricktrades that witnesses this daily. And I also trade live with my momentum members. The odds of traders making it past that first year mark is very low. If you make it to 5 years of consistency, you're in the 1%. To make it to 10 years, you are 0.1% of the population of retail traders that try this. Do you understand that? The problem is, or the idea behind the 90% fail, we've all heard that, right? Well, that's taken over just to gain consistency. Do you know that the average day trader, consistent day trader, makes under $100,000 a year? Average. So that makes you wonder how many people are actually out there that are legit doing this. Now, my members, I discuss it very seldom, what I pull in per year, and it's far greater than that. I am at the top of my field. And again, I know that sounds very boastful and egotistical, but those are the facts. People that know me and know how I trade, they know it. They know that to be true. They've seen it. Now, one of the things that I want to get back to with this statement, so Haney, I'm talking to you directly, and anyone that has strategy based off of what you're saying. So I want to make it clear to you that what you're doing right now is bias and predictive in nature. There's no relevance there. There's no weight. Now, if you would have added, I'm just speculating to that, I could accept that. That's a speculation play. I take trades like that quite often where they are spec plays, but I make that very clear when I say that. This is pure speculation. It's not based on much other than an idea and a thought. There's no weight to it. Not really. Now, I also have 10 years experience of being very good at what I do. So my speculation does hold a little bit of weight, right? Results over time that are proven hold weight. So the thing is, if that 320 October low breaks through, blows through, as you say, you can't give yourself a pat on the back because that's pure wizard's wand and magic mirror type of stuff. It's not based on anything. When you have strategy, what you have to understand, and I said this in my last video, I trade strategy through and through. Even if that blows through, the one thing, another takeaway from that statement is fear. See, what you have is a fear of taking losses. Now you'll say, no, Pat, no, I don't. But you do. Because you're scared to take start averaging in, just starting in small and averaging into a support area. Well, I'm a technician. I'm a technical trader. That's what I do. I will trade support. You also miss the idea and the bigger picture idea as to why I would take that. I said, if we get closer and it nears those lows into the election and President Trump is on the ballot, because history dictates that it will rally if he gets voted in. So it would be a spec play that I am taking, starting in, coming into that level. If it lines up into the election day, I will take it and I will clear that position off. If not, if he doesn't get in, if he loses. The reason why I'm saying what you're saying is based out of fear, because I don't give a flying fuck if I have a red trade, my friend. And that goes out to everyone. I don't care. I couldn't care any less, because that is one trade. One trade will never dictate results, ever. There's nothing you could possibly say that would ever change my mind on that, or anyone that is actually thinking about this clearly. The sample size is too small. It's one trade. It doesn't matter. So what is it? Why wouldn't you take that? Because it might fail, or you think it's going to fail? See, thinking gets traders into big trouble here, guys. Big trouble. Your thoughts are bias. They are fear. They're predictive. That's everything wrong that 99.9% of traders do. That's wrong. Now, you can argue with me, or you can take a step back and hear the words that are actually coming out of my mouth and listen to a guy that has found success in the world. Not just another YouTuber out there. I'm not in my parents' basement. So if I could even get through to one of you that are thinking like this and are predictive in nature and have bias-filled trade ideas, that's a win. Because nothing I do has to do with bias or being predictive at all. And there's no hindsight there where if it works, I give myself a pat on the back, and if it doesn't work, I come up with some bullshit excuse. Because I don't give a fuck whether it is a green trade or a red trade. That is one trade. One trade does not define success. The sample size is too small. When you have a strategy that is built off of tens of thousands of trades, literally, you have a very large sample size to work with, don't you? It's a proven strategy that works. And that strategy, trading that trade even though you think it might blow through, that's strategy, because your strategy dictates for you to take that trade. Now, if you don't take that trade, it's because out of pure just bias, because, oh, I thought it was going to do something. Do you have any idea how many times I've taken a trade live on screen share where I've said before, it's like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to hold, but I take it anyways because that's the strategy and it works? You're missing out on the bigger picture of what strategy is. So again, there's no malice in my words to you, brother, at all. And it's not even just to you, it's to everyone out there that thinks like this. The problem is, this is how most people look at day trading and trading in general. They don't have an actual strategy. It's pure prediction, bias, fear, and bullshit. That's all, folks.